Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking the incredibly complex, fast-paced world of digital marketing and breaking it down into something much easier to wrap your head around, a high-performance engine. Whether you're building a startup from scratch or trying to supercharge a massive enterprise, the mechanics of how we reach audiences have totally changed. But the underlying physics of good business, those are exactly the same. Let's dive in. Let's start by grounding ourselves with a textbook definition from our sources. Digital marketing is simply achieving marketing objectives through applying digital technologies and media. And honestly, the key takeaway here isn't the shiny new technology. It's the achieving objectives part. It's all about the actual results delivered, not just jumping on a tech bandwagon for the fun of it. The legendary Michael Porter absolutely hits the nail on the head here. He warns that assuming the internet just erases all the old rules of competition is a super dangerous reaction. Because let's face it, flashy tech is never going to save a fundamentally weak business model. You absolutely still need a rock-solid traditional strategy, you're just applying it through a modern digital lens. So here's our blueprint for building this engine today. 1. Defining digital marketing strategy. 2. The 7 Ps marketing mix. 3. Mastering search engine optimization. 4. The AI marketing revolution. And finally, 5. Measuring and managing performance. All right, part 1. Defining digital marketing strategy. This is our foundation. If you want to visualize the customer journey, the RACE framework is honestly one of the best ways to do it. It stands for reach, act, convert, and engage. It's a highly structured path that takes a total stranger and turns them into a loyal brand advocate. Reach is all about building awareness out there on the web to drive people to your site. Then act and convert are where the real magic happens, right? That's where you're encouraging interactions that lead to actual sales or solid leads. And finally, engage is your retention phase, building those long-term customer relationships. So it's not just a traditional funnel, it's really a continuous ongoing loop of value. Moving right along to section 2, the 7 Ps marketing mix. Think of these as the gears of our engine. Now, I'm sure most of you are pretty familiar with the classic 4 Ps from way back in the 1940s. Product, price, place, and promotion. But as we evolved into this digital service-heavy age, we really had to upgrade our gears. So we added people, process, and physical evidence to create the modern 7 Ps. And the reason is pretty simple. Today, how user-friendly a website is, or the attitude of the customer service agent chatting with you online, or the tangible proof of a brand's quality, those things are literally just as important as the product itself. To make that physical evidence gear a bit more concrete, just think about Starbucks for a second. Even when you're just buying a digital gift card or tapping around on their app, their brand consistency is totally anchored by physical touchpoints. I'm talking about the iconic green logo on the cups, the very specific way their stores are laid out, even the background music they play. That physical evidence reassures you, whether you're standing in line or ordering through a screen. It perfectly bridges that gap between the digital and physical worlds. Okay, section 3. Mastering search engine optimization. This is our fuel line. I know SEO can sometimes feel overwhelmingly technical, especially with algorithms changing practically every week, but our sources distill the whole thing down to a brilliantly simple rule of 3: content, code, and credibility. Content just means writing really unique, valuable stuff using the exact vocabulary your customers are typing into Google. Code means keeping your website's backend totally clean, so the search engine spiders can easily crawl and read it. And credibility? Well, that's all about your authority. How long has your domain been around? And more importantly, who else is linking to you? When you're actively optimizing, you really have to separate the things you can control directly on your site from the reputation you have to earn off-site. On-page factors are things like your title tags, which literally tell the search engine exactly what the page is about, or using clear, descriptive keywords right in your URLs. But then you have your off-page factors, mainly inbound links. Search engines look at a link from a highly reputable site to yours as a massive vote of confidence. Honestly, you could have the absolute best on-page code in the world, but without that off-page credibility, your digital engine is just going to sputter. Let's shift gears to section 4, the AI marketing revolution, the supercharger. Look, AI in marketing isn't some kind of dark magic. It's actually a very systematic cognitive cycle that operates in 3 distinct steps. First, it collects. It gathers massive, mind-boggling amounts of customer data. Every click, every view, every past purchase. Second, it uses machine learning to reason, instantly spotting hidden patterns and insights buried in that data. And finally, it acts. It automates highly personalized messages or tweaks ads in real time to directly influence what a consumer decides to buy. And it does all of this at a scale and a speed that is literally impossible for a human team to match.
Just think about the astonishing and honestly almost eerie power of predictive analytics. Our sources highlight this incredibly famous case where Target's AI models successfully predicted that a customer was pregnant before her own family even knew. The AI had reasoned that a sudden, specific shift toward buying things like unscented lotions and zinc vitamins was a huge mathematical indicator of pregnancy. And that allowed Target to send highly targeted ads at exactly the perfect moment. That is the act phase of AI working flawlessly.
But we also have to remember that this AI supercharger isn't just confined to digital ads on a screen. Automation is massively impacting the physical place and process gears of our 7Ps, too. Just look at Amazon's massive $775 million acquisition of Kiva Systems. It perfectly proves how AI and physical robotics are teaming up to automate distribution. By the time an algorithm predicts a spike in demand for a product, a physical robot is already moving a shelf in a warehouse somewhere to get that exact item to your front door faster.
And to really wrap your head around the sheer scale of where these emerging AI trends are heading, just consider this number: $4.6 billion. That is the amount projected to be spent globally in 2024 alone on AI-driven virtual influencers. We're talking about entirely computer-generated personas that post on social media, engage heavily with Gen Z, and promote real-world brands. They literally never sleep, they never have messy human PR scandals, and they represent a massive fundamental shift in how brands are building trust today. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, Measuring and Managing Performance. This is our dashboard.
This right here is the fundamental question for literally any digital marketer out there tracking a campaign's success. Think about it. If you launch an absolutely gorgeous website or a super clever AI ad campaign, but you aren't actually tracking the specific data points of how users are behaving, how in the world do you know if any of it is actually working?
As Bob Napier, the former CIO of Hewlett-Packard, so brilliantly put it, you can't manage what you can't measure. Without a solid framework for analytics, you are quite literally flying blind. The beauty of digital marketing is that it gives us this unprecedented ability to track almost everything. But the real challenge? That's filtering out all the useless noise so you can focus only on the metrics that actually move the needle for your business goals. In actual practice, a truly strong performance management dashboard is going to track your macro-level data, like overall revenue and ROI, right alongside those super granular, micro-level metrics like individual clicks and regional referrals. Having that real-time feedback loop is an absolute game changer. It allows marketers to instantly diagnose problems, tweak their SEO, adjust their content, and constantly optimize that race customer journey we talked about right at the start. So, we've covered the strategy, the marketing mix, the optimization, the AI revolution, and the analytics. But as we all know, the digital landscape literally never stops evolving. So I want to leave you with a pretty provocative thought to chew on as you look at your own initiatives moving forward. Is your digital engine adapting fast enough to survive the massive, AI-driven shift in consumer behavior? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I'll catch you next time.